Today we're taking a look at the digital camera vlogging camera from Aurho. Welcome to Up for Review, folks. Dan Holfeld here in the house. Today we're taking a look at the digital camera vlogging camera from Aurho. Now this claims to be a 2.7 UHD camera. We're going to get more into that later, but let's go ahead and do an unboxing right now. Very standard box, of course, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and open this thing up, and we can see right here we got your standard user manual with the tech specs in here, nothing extravagant, just your standard user manual. Next we have a strap. This is not your typical wrist strap, this is a full neck strap, and it'll connect to both sides of the camera. Next we have a mini USB to USB-A cable. This is 2.0, just be aware of that for transfer speeds. And next in the box here we got a 52mm UV filter. Now we're going to want to put this on later, as you'll see, to protect the lens. And next here, ladies and gentlemen, we have surprisingly two 800 milliamp lithium ion batteries. And of course, the camera itself. And that looks about it for the box there. Let's go ahead and take a look at the camera. Okay, first impressions here. It looks like your standard consumer digital camera. It's got a hand grip here on the right side. No lens. You got to look at this very surprisingly. There's no lens protecting the small lens, your actual camera lens underneath here. So we're going to want to go ahead and screw that UV filter lens on right away to take care of that. On the bottom here we have a standard tripod screw mount, so you can attach it to any tripod or any mount that you may have or need. And of course here on the back you have your standard buttons of operation, your flash, your timer, your garbage can, playback, and the M button, as well as with menu and display. And of course your tight and wide digital zoom. And we'll get into these tests later, but that is very key to note. The screen here itself is a 3-inch screen. It does flip up vertically for those that want to take selfie shots. Very nice. And here on the right side we have a mini USB port, and this can be used to charge the batteries and offload media from your SD card. On the top of the camera itself here, we have the shutter button to take your pictures or start recording video, and we got a on and off switch that you have to hold to power on and off. Now very interesting, here on the right side we have a non-moving button. Now this would be where you would select your mode, you would think, to go from pictures or video, but this particular instant it's just for looks. So we'll get into how to switch the mode here in a little bit. And then of course here on top we have the slider button to pop up the flash, which, ladies and gentlemen, I am not impressed with this flash. We're going to show this in the results. It is what it is, but it is not that great. Now here on the bottom we have the slot here that we can open up, and then we have the spot for our 800 milliamp battery, and this little slot right here. This does take micro USB. Now the instructions claim that this can take anywhere from 1 to 30 gig card, which of course is not included. So just be aware that if you're buying this camera, you're going to need to order a micro USB card. All right, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and power this up for the first time. Now it looks like your standard digital camera interface. You got all this displays here and everything it's showing. Now to go between the modes on this camera, this is really weird on this part. You're going to want to hit the M button for mode. So that's how you go from pictures to video to playback. Now this is what you would be using the top knob for, but this does not do that. So that's how you're gonna have to change modes. It's just a little extra to get used to, but with practice, you can get the hang of it. Let's go ahead and get to the video part of the section. It's a little rough. Must be using really bad compression software in there. It claims that it's 2.7K or 2.7 UHD, if you will. That's not the case. I took some sample video here. You can see how blotchy it is. And then when you go to the information on this file, it actually only comes out as 1080p and running at 25 frames per second. So why claim that you're going to do 2.7K when it's actually 1080p? I'm not happy about that misleading, but if you actually go and switch it to 1080p, you can actually get 30 frames per second out of it. So that's just something to be aware. If you're going to use this camera, just switch it to 1080p. You're going to get at least 30 frames, and it's 1080p anyway if you go to all the way. So it doesn't make any sense to run it at 2.7K. I think that's just for, you know, putting it out there. Oh, this shoots at 2.7K. No, it doesn't. So be aware of that in that respect, ladies and gentlemen. If you're buying this camera, it's only going to be 1080p. So let's go ahead and look at some indoor tests here. This is, and like I said, I am not really impressed with the video on this camera at all. Poor low light here. This is inside. You know, it's not terrible with the lights on. It looks, you know, somewhat decent, but like I said, that compression is making it look blotchy. Now take a listen here to the audio and video together and see how it sounds.
Let's see if I can flip up the screen while I'm recording. Hey, what do you know? It worked. Still recording. Check 1, 2, 3. How's the audio? Check, check. Test, test. 1, 2, 3, 4. Test, test, test. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2.7K. Is it that good? I don't know. Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, this is what you could use for like a nice little blogging part of the camera itself. It is an overcast day. Quality's not going to be as good as if it was sunny out. So how does that look? How does it sound?
Now, as you can see there, the audio is not very good. It's, you know, you can't really hear what's going on. I'm right up on the camera. That's something to be aware of. Again, it's an overcast day. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's put this to the test and try it on a sunny day now. Now you can see here it's a little bit better, but we still got that blotchiness. And this is the optimal lighting conditions to shoot. You got the bright sun outside. It shouldn't be stretching the camera's capabilities too far to be filming in this type of environment. Like I said, it's bright. This is the best optimal conditions to film this video. And you can see it's just not that impressive. Again, it's not that expensive of a camera, but when you're talking about 1080p, it should be better than this. All right, let's get on to the pictures of this camera, what kind of pictures it can take. We'll go ahead here into the mode setting and jump it up all the way. It can go anywhere from a 1920 by 1080 all the way up to 5600 by 4200, and it claims 24 megapixels. So you can see right here, ladies and gentlemen, these are some outdoor shots with the camera. And I think this is where the camera itself excels, is taking photographs on a overcast or bright day. These seem to be somewhat decent. Now pay attention here. I'm trying to take close-up micro shots, if you will. It does not focus on anything close. It even has the focus brackets in the center here. I don't think those really do anything. I never heard any like noise or anything to make the lens focus, if you will, on an object. It's basically just what you're shooting at is one depth, and that's all you get. So you're not gonna get any close shots like that you would think you could do. Now on this camera here, the digital zoom is just that, it's digital. There's no motors or anything zooming in. It's terrible. Don't even try to use this camera to zoom in. It's just gonna crop in on the image, and it's not good. Best case use, like I said, is overcast, sunny day. One focus length, just move the camera forward and back. That's going to be your best chance to get a decent shot. And of course you can even adjust the white balance on this camera. Now here's a shot on auto, and then here's the same shot when I change it to overcast. You can see it's a little more green. That foliage there wasn't that green, so that it was a little misrepresentation of the day. I would say just leave it on auto and go with that. It's also got a couple other modes as well. You can do black and white, and you can do sepia, which actually I think these kind of look very nice when you use them, so there is that option. This isn't your typical professional camera here, folks. It's just a quick shoot, vlogging, blogging camera, if you will. Now this camera does have a Wi-Fi option. Now how you do this is you hit the Wi-Fi button on the back of the camera. Now this projects its own Wi-Fi signal, and then you'll go connect to it directly on your phone or tablet. You have to download their app. Now you can connect it to your phone or iPad and be able to remote shoot. The password comes up It's password 123456778. I know, extremely hard to guess, folks, but that's the password. We have it set up right here. You can see me connecting. The video is a little stuttery. You can see it flapping here. But again, it's just a remote feature. Interesting to say the least, but I don't know how much people would actually use this. Because why not just start the camera and then go in front? But you can also preview the pictures and videos on this app and trim clips as well, which is very interesting. So, final review on this whole camera itself here. I'm gonna say a few things here. The price point at $100 is a little steep. Now, for what this camera does, I would like to see it between that $50 and $80 range, because again, the UHD was misleading, 2.7K. It is not that resolution when you check it on the computer. You know, if you go 1080p, it's okay, it's got some blotchiness, but there's some sharpness in there too. But again, best case scenario for this camera, ladies and gentlemen, is to take pictures with it in the sun or overcast. Using this camera in low light is terrible, terrible, terrible. You can see there's a couple shots right here. I try to use the flash. It's completely useless. Hardly lights anything. Now you can use it somewhat decent for taking selfies in low lighting because you're close to the camera and it can actually light you up a little bit. Again, they're gonna be a little bit blurry. So the best case scenario for this camera, ladies and gentlemen, is to take pictures in an overcast or a sunny environment. That's gonna give you your best results. Again, the video is not impressive, but in a tight pinch, you might wanna capture a video here or there. So I'm a little disappointed in this. Like I said, I would like to see the price point more at like between $50 and $80 for something like this. Comparing this, and I know this is like way like kind of a different device, but when you think of an iPod Touch costing about $200, this is $100, so this is half of an iPod. Think about everything else an iPod can do. Not to mention that that can have pretty damn good video capabilities there, but you can also browse the web, play music, you know, the list goes on and on with everything you can do with an iPod. You know, that would probably be a better investment, but if we can get this down to $50, $80, I could definitely recommend it then. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for this show. I'm gonna do a giveaway on this camera. All you gotta do is pay for shipping and I'll send it out to you. Send me an email to right here, k2d4network@gmail.com. Put in the subject line, camera giveaway. I'll draw one at random. I'll give this video probably 2-3 weeks. We'll figure out where you live. I'll calculate the shipping. And then once I receive that payment via PayPal, I'll go ahead and ship this out to you free of charge. $100 camera for just shipping. So there you go. Good luck. So that's been great for this episode of Up for Review, ladies and gentlemen. If you would like to just buy this camera or look at the specs on it, I have the Amazon link in the description below. Check it out, and we'll see you later.